I want to do it a lot. I'm trying to do a trip a year at least. I'm tired of this staying stagnant, not doing anything for the last few years and stuff. There was a point where I was like going somewhere every year, but now with changing, moving here, the kids and all that stuff, I haven't been doing anything. But now I'm about to, get back to it.
That's dope. Like,
so what's new with everybody? What y'all got going on today besides you selling your Pokemon Don? What everybody else got going on? Making that hustle.
So for me, I ain't got nothing popping, but like yesterday, obviously the NBA playoffs hit. So, it's basically just watching that all day yesterday. The teams and the games were really irrelevant. I wasn't like rooting for anybody specifically, but hey, they got my Clippers, the Clips, playing against some ASS Phoenix Suns. So, I'll be watching that game. Hopefully they put in Leonard and whatnot. And then the alternative to that, the first game coming up is Memphis Tennessee. They got them going up against my LA Lakers. Again, LA team's got to rep them. So, LeBron work and whatnot. So I'm pretty sure they're going to win that as well. But I watched those. Yesterday I went out like to a couple bars and everything and, watched it there. So got a little faded and whatnot. That's why I'm lazy with it. I ain't got the none of that. I just woke up like maybe like 30 minutes ago. So, and whatnot. But today's going to be a much more chill day. Just going to chill at home and watch the games and everything and, get prepared for that work day or that work week or whatever,
Wait. Yeah. So did you just allude to the fact that now you're somewhat of a LeBron fan because he's on the Lakers and you want them to win?
No. I'm saying the Lakers are going to win. I'm not saying I necessarily want them to win. If they win, that's cool. But I also want my Clippers to win because the Clippers are the team that I'm saying like they need to go to the NBA Finals and win and all that junk.
You said I'm repping LA.
It happened. Like if I had to put money on who's going to win, it's probably going to be Philly, believe it or not. I think it's going to be like a team from the East Side.
Philly's going to what? Philly's going to win.
Philly's going to win the NBA Finals.
Sam, what are you doing? You think Philly is going to win?
Daddy was faded.
Who's going to be? Who's going to beat them?
Wow, bro. Okay. I think, I'm being biased. Obviously, the Nuggets are stronger, I think, especially this season. Now, I will say, minus the last two games, they played a little soft. I think the Nuggets are stronger. I still, even though Golden State has been playing weak all season, I never count them out in the playoffs. They do this every year.
Curry played ridiculous yesterday.
What's up?
And they lost.
Curry played ridiculous yesterday.
And that's the thing, I was watching the game and I was like,
well, Wiggins hadn't played in 2 months.
Yeah, they're good and everything, but don't let the game come down to the wire because Curry ain't clutch. And I love Curry, hella dope, but he's not the person I'm going to ask to take the last shot. I'm going to go with Clay, right? Down 3 points.
And I'm still not even I still don't even think Philly's even the strongest in the East. I mean, I'm not counting out Miami. I'm not counting out Boston. I think they're going to, if anything, I'd probably say Boston would get Philly out. I like Philly. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Maxey fan. I
can see Boston. I'll agree with you there, but at the same time, it's like Boston had their chance. They had their chance. They came up against Golden State last year. It didn't work out for them. In regards to Denver, no offense, but Jokic or whatever, okay, you want to give them all that stuff and everything. The entire squad, they're just like a regular season squad. I don't think they're strong enough where they have what it takes, just like Milwaukee way back when, to actually do what they're doing during the regular season, during season. So I think they're probably going to get knocked out. Not the first round, maybe like second or third round, to be honest. And then who else you mentioned?
Miami. See, the thing about Miami, Miami is strong. They're not as strong, but after what they did last season with their old ass bench and their old, you know what I'm saying? They actually put in some work. So I'm not counting Miami out. I'm definitely not counting Boston.
I'm counting them out because the first round today they're going up against Milwaukee, and again, Milwaukee previously going back to that Orlando bubble year. That's when Milwaukee wasn't there. Giannis wasn't that dude just yet. He can't get them where they need to be.
Yeah.
It sound like they do it. They do work. They go and they whoop that Suns ASS and win the finals a couple years back. and like they've been on point ever since. So I could see Milwaukee being a contender, but not Miami. Nah,
Oh,
they got
Miami barely got past Chicago. I wouldn't count them in.
You act as if Chicago is weak. Chicago, and like I'd say mid-season, at the first part of the season, they weren't whatever, but then they turned up. DeMar was going.
Yeah.
So
I thought they're actually going to make it. I thought they were going to beat Toronto or whatever, and forget the other team they had to do on the plan. But I thought they're actually going to win. You know.
Yeah, Zach LaVine when he's healthy, Chicago's a force. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Wait, now Denver, you're right about Denver in terms of them being like a regular season team. The difference is last year we still got to the playoffs with only Jokic. This season we have a healthy Jamal Murray who's going crazy. So with Jamal Murray and Jokic and Gordon even getting better, I'm being biased. I'm a Nuggets fan. Do I think that they're going to come out the West? It's possible. It's possible. The Clippers are tough. I like the Clippers only because I'm a huge Bones Highland fan, and I hated that.
Y'all gave them to us. Thank you,
bro.
Yeah,
I'm
like
tight.
that was what y'all needed, and y'all don't got them no more. So yeah, like
so I want
Jamal Murray, cool, whatever. Like, I mean, you probably should have traded Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, I agree. No, I want the Clippers to win solely based on Highland's there, so the Nuggets can be like, "Fuck, we messed up." Because trust, I'm a huge Bone Highlands fan.
Highland wasn't a good culture fit, so he wasn't vibing with Jokic. He was like a problem in the locker room, kind of like the way Russell Westbrook is.
It's kind of they didn't give him a chance. That's the thing. He was a young bull. I mean, he was out there like, bro. When he was on the floor, he was dominant. You're right. He didn't
really sixth man of the year contender. He like was putting up points for him, getting them what they needed when they needed it. You know, like
I will say I'm kind of excited about this particular playoff season because this is one of the first years where it's like it could go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a dominant Golden State, you don't have a dominant Boston Celtics. It's like you don't have a dominant Lakers. It literally can go anywhere. This season. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my day, just basketball, you know, why not?
Sight.
What about you, Harold?
It's been kind of like a memory lane weekend, just kind of like you said, the basketball's been nice to get that back in the mix. But I'm listening to old music and stuff like that. Obviously, we talk about music a lot, but just there was some retro stuff where it was kind of like listening to their music and be like, man, I'm disappointed that they're like not around anymore. I always point to Nate Dogg. Like, there's just nobody that's been able to carry that mantle as like the latest ghetto harmonies, what do you want to call it? And it's just something about his music just calms. I was also disappointed that like Mystical, his career was so stunted, but he had like potential. And like, obviously the things that he did, you know, there's a reason why he's locked up, but I was a big fan of Mystical, and then he was just gone. And then, I mean, some people were just hot, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared, like X to the Z, Exhibit. He had some moments, whatnot, and then he became like a TV personality, and then he kind of just like drifted off into nothingness. And it's like, there's some jams, like he still has a good 50 songs that like I think are dope, like from multiple albums. So I'm like, man, like some of those things, just like going back and listening to some of those was kind of just dope. Just again, as I'm also,
you know, when I think about it, when it comes to like music and specifically like rap music and whatnot, more specifically gangster rap music or whatever, but it's kind of hard to have longevity as you progress, because as you get older, it's hard to like stay gangster. You can't be gangster in like your 40s and 50s and like that, you know what I mean? So, and not saying like, you know, like Exhibit was full on gangster rap, but like, you know, the persona he had like in his rap music then transitioned to like MTV, Pimp My Ride. You can't be like, hey, I'm gonna help you out with your car, but I'm also hard. And you're like, it's, you know, so I think that kind of like, you know, played a factor more than
it's true, because when you even see some of the ones that are still trying to be gangster, it looks weird. I love Snoop, but anytime he puts out a new album and he talks that gangster shit, I'm like, brother, we call you Uncle Snoop because you're like 60 plus. It doesn't hit the same as Doggy Style, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
we're forever fans of like Ice Cube and them, but when they put out like Mount Westmore and I'm hearing them trying to be hard on an album, I'm like, this doesn't hit the same, man. Like, we've seen you do Daddy, you know, or
daycare or no,
yeah,
something
not
like that.
daddy
Yeah.
daycare. The Are We There?
But, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
There you go.
yeah.
it just it doesn't hit the same. And so he's got a very valid point. You can't be gangster.
Saying you would listen to a West Side Connection remastered.
I'll listen to the old West Side Connection, but if they drop something new, it would be kind of weird. Like, bro, imagine Dub C and his beard, like, and it's all gray. Like, it would be crazy. Like, brother, I don't believe you. You still trying to see walk with a cane and shit? Don't do that.
See, walk with a cane. Yeah, true.
Do you guys ever go down memory lane and just listen to the old tracks, old like even that people would say are irrelevant nowadays, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I listen to more old school stuff than new, to be honest. Like
we know Quincy
most
does.
of the stuff I listen to is old school. Of course. So I was listening to Talib the other day.
Oh, I know.
And I was listening to Blueface joint. Then I was listening to some, like I was telling Harold, like, dude, I was running and I was just listening to some DMX. I was like, and it got me hyped up and I ran for like an extra 30 minutes. Like listening to certain artists like that back in the day, it's like, that's the most of the stuff I listen to, especially when it comes to like the R&B aspect too, and older people and stuff. I was listening to some like Leah Leah. I was listening to some Tamia the other day, some Deborah Cox. Like I was just like on that little rant where I was just had the little slow jumps going on while I was just cleaning up, chilling. Then I was on the patio smoking a little cigar, had a glass of whiskey, listening to some music and just relaxing. It's good vibes.
Yeah, I always see myself like going back just because I mean it's still good, you know what I mean? Like it's still today's rap. Here's the thing, I don't listen to that much rap today anyway. I'm more of an R&B head. I think today's R&B is a lot better than today's rap. So when I want to get my rap bag, I have to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like when I want to hear, like, you know me, I'm a huge Ludacris fan. So when I want to hear Luda, like there's no one like him today. So I have to revert to Luda. Or when I want to get my Twista bag, there's no one doing Twista music. So I gotta listen to Twista. You know what I mean? He brought up DMX. Like when I want to really get rowdy, there's no DMX of today. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy even thinking like that. Like today's rap, and I know we sound cliche, but everybody sounds similar. Whereas you can go
carbon copies.
Yeah, exactly. Where you can go back like a decade, 2 decades or so, and everybody sounds unique. You know, a Method Man doesn't sound like, you know, Jay. Jay doesn't sound like Nappy Roots. Nappy Roots doesn't sound like Bone Thugs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I go back. I have to. When I want to get like unique style like hip hop, you have to. You know what I mean? So I'm always in that bag.
Well, even when you say like West Coast sound, like what does that mean? West Coast like Ice Cube? Like Easy E, West Coast like E40, West Coast E40. Like Snoop, West Coast like there's a whole lot of differences between what you consider West Coast. Sugar Free is way different than all that. So
yeah, no, now like
so yeah.
You want to listen to something West Coast today, like outside of Kendrick, who do you really have that's like relevant West Coast? I mean, yeah, you can try
the Vince Staples, the like Don Kennedy's, it's the Casey Veggies, like it's like some of those that are more like underground independent-ish artists, but
see, even that's not, to me, that's specifically LA rap. That's not West Coast rap. You know what I mean? Like a Vince Staples to me, like you know, there's a whole crop of like LA rappers. Like you said, there's Vince Staples, there's, you know, if you go back to Casey Veggies and Cool Kids and all, like there's a LA rap. West Coast, that's completely different to me. You know what I mean? Like Kendrick to me is West Coast. Game is West Coast. Like I like Vince Staples a lot. His last project was solid. But to me, like, I don't get West Coast flavor when I hear him rap. I get LA talk. You know what I mean? So.
True.
It's still dope.
So who's your...
So what else you got going on, Don?
Yeah.
Let's see. Aside from the live, we're starting to declutter the house a little bit. We're like 95% close to this house that we're gonna buy. Finally, all goes well. So we're past the underwriting stage. So I know once you pass underwriting, it's pretty much a guarantee. So we close, thank you, man. Thank you. We close end of May if all goes well.
Dope.
So now it's all about just decluttering because I'm not moving into a brand new house with a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So
if we get a call around late May to be like, I need some help moving.
Oh no, trust me, it's gonna be so chill. I'm not gonna need help. Like they're gonna be like, all right, man, where's all the stuff? I'm like, you see that room right there? That's all the boxes are in one room. That's it. It's gonna be a 1 day, couple hour move. We're looking forward to it, man. It's been a long time coming. So I was like,
Nice.
we were sick and tired of just waiting for everyone to go, well, the market's not good. The market is this, the market is that. It's like, man, look, it's never going to be what it used to be. Either A, like the interest rates are dummy low, but that means that all the investors are going to come eat everything up, or it's going to be now the interest rate is somewhat high, so no one wants to buy. You know what I mean? But
yeah, you just got to do what you got to do instead of, because that's what everybody do. Also, like, keep talking about it and keep postponing it. Like, you might as well just do it. It's never going to be a perfect situation.
No, but the thing is like this ended up working out because even though interest rates somewhat, are like 6 and above, and everyone's like, yo, that's crazy. I was able to negotiate to where we can get under like 5.4. So it's like, it's still kind of high, but you knock that out for the first couple of years, refi, and then, it'll drop. But I was just thinking tired of renting, man. I couldn't stand it anymore. So we did, man. Yeah. So no, today is just going to be.
What city?
Still staying in Surprise. It's a little, actually maybe like 15 minutes from this area. It's along the 303 in Cactus. They're building like crazy around there, like restaurants, shops. They just announced that they're building another casino like 2 blocks from where the house is. So already it's just that property value increase. You know what I'm saying? So
Nice.
yeah, it's kind of a good look, man. It's kind of a good look. So everything's working out. So it's just gonna be a bunch of decluttering today, and then, like Brian said, watching some more of these playoffs. So layoff gang, feel me?
Did you say surprise?
Sorry,
What was that? You were breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, you're breaking up too. I said, did you say surprise?
Yeah, surprise still. It's maybe like 10, 15 minutes from where we're at now. We wanted to try to stay like kind of around where the kids' school is at. So yeah, man, it's cool, chilling.
Nice.
Definitely chilling.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was telling Harold, like I got a turkey on the smoker right now, so I'm just doing that right now, and just chilling. Gonna cook that, clean up. I'm supposed to meet up with this chick later on today, a little first date going on. So we'll see how that goes.
So you about to pull up?
Other than that,
pull up on your first date smelling like smoked turkey? That's fire.
I know, right? They say, like, hey, you smell like food, get her hungry and stuff.
She's gonna be like, smoked turkey. This brother
but
just
the right type of girl.
Hey, if she get hungry, then maybe
be a sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah, don't let her be a vegan. She'll be pissed. She goes, brother, you out here cooking turkey? He's like, this date is over.
No, I already told her. It's cool.
You told her
it
what?
happens. All right. Now I was talking to her earlier. All right. Now see what I told her I was doing today. So she cool with it. But obviously I'm gonna get cleaned up, take a shower. That's why I was waiting. I usually take a shower when I get up. But obviously, I was like, I'm not going to take a shower and then smell like smoke and take another one. So I'll take this off the smoker around noon, and then I will get cleaned up and go be smelling proper for her.
What's the today? What's the plan?
Well, she wanted to do like a little walk in the park kind of thing, but it's supposed to start raining around that time. So it depends on the weather. If the weather's garbage, then we're gonna it's a happy hour that has trivia. So we're gonna do that. If the weather's nice, then we'll go to the park and walk around and just see where it goes from there. Play by ear.
I think you still take that walk in the park even if it's raining. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's just, that sounds like a romantic situation right there. She get wet and be like, "Oh, I got some towels out the crib."
You got no coat.
You know what I'm saying? And then
it's smart. Might as well.
You know what I'm saying? Half the work's already done.
It's right across the street, basically. Yep.
So
And the park
Quincy,
is really the park that I was thinking about going to is less than a block away, like a block or so away.
See, and then,
So it works.
like while she's drying off, you get that smoked turkey out and start carving that. And then I happen to have this turkey here, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
picnic. We
Yeah.
stumbled on.
and then if we really keep it in gangster, you know, turkey has the tryptophan, which makes people tired. So now you feel kind of tired. Like I happen to have a comfortable bed here if you want to go to sleep. I mean,
Right. You planned it out for me.
That
Thank
was a
you.
good conclusion.
I thought about it. Trust me.
come on, brother. This is what we do.
So
Yeah.
Quincy, so first dates, light questions, surface level, or you like ask something where you're like, all right, I count 3 red flags, or it may not be a second date.
Little combination, because most of the stuff, you know, as far as the light questions already been asked. You know, I've been talking because I met her on a dating site, obviously. Talked on there for a couple of days, then we exchanged numbers, so we've been talking on messaging, talking on the phone for a couple of days. So a lot of the little basic questions we already got out of the way. And then more just seeing the vibe, seeing how you are, see how your mannerisms, and seeing who you are and what you
Questions like, do you
do.
know who your daddy is? And I'm just kidding.
Basically, like, you know, how many brothers you got, how is your mom and dad still together, and how many kids you got, how many different dads, stuff like that. Like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like the one I told you about, I don't know if I told you, it's like a little red flag. That's the reason I'm going on a first date now, because the other one didn't go well. Well, we talked for like a month, but anyway, like she was telling me like she never had a dude open a door for her, like a car door for her or anything like that. I was like, damn, you 37 years old, you never dated a guy to open a door for you? Like, damn, that's one. And then I had a first date. I had a first date with a couple weeks ago.
My bad. Go ahead.
She
Go
was
ahead.
like, yeah, she was like, I had a first date a couple weeks ago, and it only was one day, then pretty much ended it. She was just saying like she never actually had a real boyfriend, official boyfriend. I was like, you 40 or 39? I think she was like 39, 38, something like that. You never had a boyfriend? Like, so you just have random hookups, or you just have like flings? Like, what is it? So that kind of like threw me off. I was like, yeah. And then the conversation when we were at dinner or whatever was kind of lackluster. So I was like, all right, you're cool.
No,
Have
so
a good day, though.
I wanted to ask. So the one you said that because she never had someone open a car door for her, that was a negative?
It's just crazy to me that she would not
tape.
accept that or not require that kind of thing. It's like, you should be like, it wasn't a red flag necessarily. It was just like, it was just shocking that she's 37 years old and dated X amount of dudes and none of them opened the door. So that tells me what kind of dude she's dating.
I mean, that makes sense.
Like she didn't have her standards up to an extent. Like,
Exactly. Like, you must be dating some sorry dudes, and she also said like, because we hung out a few times, and I was like the first dude that she actually introduced to some of her friends. And like when I invited her over, you know, we hung out a few times, and it wasn't just all about sex or whatever. So she's like, wow, I really appreciate the fact that it's not always about sex with you. You actually want to meet my friends. You always want to hang out and want to meet up and chill. I was like, yeah. So that in combination just shows me what level she was at, and like I said, who she's dating in the past.
That's interesting. I guess I would take that completely different. I would take that as if like, okay, yeah, you haven't had the greatest like past or whatever, but now this is my opportunity to show you what a real dude is. And then like, yeah. I don't know. And then it just build off of that, because then you know you're going to get somebody that's super real and super into you, because she's like, well, I already know what I've had in the past, and here I got this one unique opportunity in the situation where dude is doing everything the completely opposite from what I'm used to, and I don't want to do anything to ruin that. So I'm going to like potentially give him my all for that. So I don't know.
But that's how I thought. But no, that's the problem. That's how I thought. That was my mentality going into it. But unfortunately, when you're dating certain females that had nothing but, you know, bad relationship or toxic relationships, they don't think, and she told me she didn't think that she was worth it. You know, I was like, I can't fix you. You know, I can show you how good of a good I am, but if you're insecure and you're down on yourself and you don't think that you're worth my attention, then I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not your therapist. I'm not going to fix you. I can only do so much.
Were
She
you
told me
into
that
it?
she's like, she was cool. Like I said, we only dated for like a month. She was cool. I liked her. I wanted to pursue things, but when she told me she was like scared and wanted to take things slow, or she didn't say slow, she was like, I want to take a step back because I'm not ready for this and stuff. It was like it's going too good or something, you know. It's those things that females say when they either they're telling the truth or they just trying to let you down soft or whatever the case is. She didn't feel like she was worthy of what I was giving her.
Well, I mean, I only asked if you were into her because, like, if you were truly into somebody, I mean, and this is my opinion, and like you really were trying to like pursue something, then you would maybe try to work with the bad and try to like not necessarily change her perception, but just show her a little more in depth of like the grass is greener on the other side. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you were off the rip or like I can't be your therapist and I can't help you with your insecurities, then to me, were you really into her at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like, were you really
Not enough to do that then, yeah. Like you said, not enough to do with that. Like if it was,
and that's cool. So if you weren't really into it like that, bet. You feel me? But if you were like, yo, she's really somebody that like I can like kind of hold down or I want to see go forward, let me at least give it some honest effort and some, you know what I'm saying?
Captain Saber.
Yeah, if you want to quit it,
right.
yeah,
And I think that would have been the case, to be honest.
Exactly.
Like if I was into her, super into her, where I saw, you know, future, whatever, I would you know, did more because I done that in the past, unfortunately.
You know,
Well, then yeah,
But you know, I dated
I
females that
I think also though at the same time, like some females that have never experienced that or haven't experienced that on the regular with respect to their previous boyfriends and dudes and whatever the case is, they don't take those things as like, oh, that's a plus or that's positive. Like he may have been like a gentleman, took her on actual legit dates or like opened doors, and she'd be like, all right, whatever. Like this, like kind of like it's not a great grand gesture, you opening the door for me, like whatever. I'm a 2000s female. I don't need you to open my door.
True.
It don't
yeah, I'm
matter.
a modern chick.
Or you know,
I'm a
like
bad
you
bee.
treating her like, you know, she's the first date, she's expecting to like pay half, and you pay, and it's like, oh well, that's different. Like, but it's not something great to her because she's never experienced that. So that could be the case too, you know, like
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And in that case, yeah, I was going based on what he said. If she's like, oh, I've never had somebody that wants to be around my friends and stuff like that, like it's almost like she's realizing, oh wow, this is different. Wow, he actually wants to
yeah.
with me. Oh, he doesn't just want to, you know what I'm saying? And like, so
I think it's also.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think it's also like the energy to reflect. Like a lot of times, it's almost like the woman is just there coasting, and they expect the guy is supposed to jump through all the hoops and be the entertainer and be all the planner for all the dates, and they gotta wow and shake and do all the dances, and it's like, what else are you bringing to the table? Are you just along for the ride? And it's almost like they haven't realized they've just been a passenger on this train, and they haven't contributed or equally reflected, like, no, I want to do this, or I'll have a say in where we eat or in the activities we want to do, or hey, let's go out with my friends, I have a thing planned. But
that reminds me of how like they have you know, they have like little memes or little like internet posts and things of that nature, people making little comments here and there and talking about how it's like, all right, yeah, you know, like you got this woman that, you know, I'm not trying to be judgmental or stuff like that, but you know, like we'll go ahead and if we were rating, we'll say like you got a female that's like a 5 or a 6, and then you look at her list of demands, like I need a dude that's 6 foot tall, he needs to have his own job, he needs to have his own car, he needs like all these things. It's like, well, what do you bring to the table? And like them being speechless, it's like, oh, like this pussy, you know, and it's like, yo, like,
yeah, I am the table.
That ain't nothing special, you know what I mean? So like,
yeah, facts.
As much as it's like nowadays become like, you know,
Trust me, dude.
like women's movement and stuff like that. There's dudes I think starting to realize as well, like, yo, no, like, you know, like I'm not bringing a table and you ain't got nothing but a plate. Like, nah, F that. Like, you know, we going 50-50 equal in this, you know, I think that's positive. That's good because, you know, like some of these females need a reality check. Like, yo, like, like
They do. They do.
no
And it's
pigeons, but
these
sporty
modern
thieves. Go back
age.
to the old music. Old music, sporty thieves.
No pigeons.
Your pussy ain't worth the Ramada. Like, oh, like, nah,
Facts.
it ain't nothing special, bitch. Like, and like every
Yeah.
female
Especially
got
if
one.
there's
So,
8 or 9 dudes, or 8 or 9 women per dude, and it's like, I can take my pick. So what makes you separate from the pack? And
Yeah, facts.
Especially when, like you're saying, like when every woman's criteria is this, and that's every one. So they're going for a certain percentage. Then that percentage
That's
of
like
the guy they're going for, 10 females are going for that one guy. So he's like, okay, I'll pick you, and you, like a buffet, and call it a day. But yeah, and trust me, I see it. Like I said, y'all lucky I don't have to go through this crap. But I see it on these dating sites, like certain females, like they list their things that like she could be like 5'2", but she's like, I only date guys that's 6'3" or 6'2" and higher. I'm like I saw this one chick's page and I was like, I don't know if she's joking or what, but she's like, I'm 200 plus pounds, 5 foot, 3 kids.
I think I've seen that one.
Different baby dads. But you can't have kids. You have to be over 6'2". You have to be in shape. My kids have to be your priority. So I was like, delete. But I was like, really?
Yeah. I have to believe that one is a joke because I remember seeing something like that as well. And it's like, yo, like you're just listing all these negatives and all these red flags, and you're expecting all these things. Like, so I'm like, yeah, that had to be a joke. But I also remember like is either a comedian or like, again, somebody just posting on social media or whatever. And they're like, yeah, like every time like I meet a girl or whatever, and she asked me a question like, how tall am I? Like I counter that. I'm like, how much do you weigh? And then she gets all offended and da-da-da-da-da. And like he made an exact perfect point. It's like, yo, like if you like, I can't change my height. Like I grow however I grow, but you can change weight. You know what I mean? So that's I'm not saying it's a problem. That's something you could work on. If you're 5'3", you're 5'3". You can wear some platform shoes, but you ain't getting like no growth spurt. You know what I mean? So, and that's such a good point because it's okay. Women have like criteria and stuff like, oh, you need to be this, you need to be that, da 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 da. But all of a sudden, like, I don't like you because you're a certain weight. Like I'm a phobe or something like that, or like, oh, like let her be her. Like she has this inner beauty and da 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 da. No one says she wasn't beautiful. She just wasn't beautiful to me. I have my preferences. Preferences. Why you getting mad at me for my preferences?
And that's what it is. Women can have preferences. Man can't. Men's are judgmental. Like a woman is a preference. Dude you're being judging me. You're judging me rather. And like I said, like you would think it's a joke. Like I said, when I read her page, I was like, this is a joke. But when you see that on multiple people's pages, same verbiage, same thing for the most part, it's like, damn, this ain't a joke. Y'all serious with it.
But here's the other thing though that happens a lot of times is you'll look at couples and be like, huh, that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't look right, or it looks kind of odd with the pairing. And a lot of times it's because one or both of them have those insecurities of like, the guy that is 6'2" in shape, whatever, doesn't like to be turned down or doesn't like to be challenged or doesn't like to be pushed farther than they are. So they go for the person that appears lesser than because they're like, hey, she can't complain. She got me and I'm the best she's ever going to get. So it's always going to be in my favor. And like they have the insecurity. If I actually want somebody at my level, then I might have to actually stay at that level. I may have to actually bring something else to the table. I can't just be the prize and whatnot. And so some of it is also that, sometimes the female wants a bigger dude because she doesn't ever want to feel like she now has to worry about her appearance because, hey, he can't complain. What is he, that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, it's a world we live in, man. It's crazy.
So then if I flipped it on you guys, so if I asked you what would flip then the balance, I guess, because right now, if you just look at the numbers, the guy has the opportunity to select or choose the woman. At what point does it now become where she's the prize again? Like what would have to change for that to happen?
She needs to be 90s hip hop. Going back to our earlier conversation, she can't carbon copy like every other single female out there. she has to have like there has to be a variety, something unique about her, as opposed to like, like, oh, like you have pussy, this girl has pussy, that girl has pussy, like, like let me find one that has a job, that has her own thing, that like, like I'm not like her only like option and things of that nature, like something unique about the girl. I mean, I haven't gone to like the club in I don't know how long, but I imagine if I go to the club, I'm gonna see the girls like all like in the same format, probably having the same little miniskirt, same hairstyle or whatever, like whatever the trendy, unique thing is that you see. And the reason why it seems like there's a lot more of that is because with social media, everybody's able to see the same thing like over and over again. So everybody like go to like TikTok or something like that, you're gonna like swipe multiple times and see the same person doing the same TikTok dance and everything. So, like everybody's nowadays, and that goes for men too, I imagine. But obviously, I ain't looking for men or anything like that. I'm not really even looking for females, God, But if I'm like window shopping, wherever the case is, I see girls and they're like just looking the same. They all got like the same beat up ASS white Air Force Ones. They got those like
Chuck Taylors,
like the holes in the jeans, and like a little shirt top, whatever the case is, or whatever, and just like there's nothing unique about you, nothing different. So just like rappers nowadays, where you listen to one, you listen to another, they're all the same. I think the same applies for women. So for them to get control, they need to be unique and have something that's more desirable for a man. Realizing like, oh dang, like you're like one of a kind. I'm just gonna take forever for me to find another one of you.
That's a dangerous.
Yeah, like you're saying, everybody's the same, and they need to stop realizing that it's not all about like, hey, you're beautiful the way you are. Like stop saying Lizzo's freaking beautiful and she doesn't need to change. Like say that, dude, let's empower yourself and empower others. And it's like, let's better ourselves. Like, hey, lose some damn weight. Like, hey, let me learn how to cook. Let me educate myself. Let me do this and that and be a better person compared to just working on my external beauty. Like, hey, let me do something. Let me learn how to freaking sew. Like, let me learn how to freaking paint. Let me learn this something that is going to make you a better individual, that you can have a real conversation with somebody compared to this. Hey, do you see that TikTok video? This, and like, stop. Like I said, I saw this little meme. It was saying like a woman, like, hey, do I look fat in this? Like, woman, other woman, like, nah, girl, you beautiful. Just do your thing. And it was like, man, hey, do I look fat? Like, hell yeah, man, you look fat as hell. You like you're my fattest friend. Like, see, man would tell you the truth, and women just lie to you and just encourage you to stay doing nothing. It's just like, it's because it's the emotional aspect of women. Women are emotional creatures. Men are more logical.
You said creatures.
And I can tell, hey, my boy,
we're all creatures. We're human creatures.
Like, do me a favor, man. Let's hit up the gym. Let's do this. Let's better yourself. Women, like, shoot. Nah, it's okay. It's okay to have diabetes. You're good.
So, Don, what's your solution?
It's okay to lose your weight. You're okay. You're living your best life, right? You're happy, right? You go to McDonald's every day, right? You happy, like, dude, you wouldn't believe how many like grown ASS women I know or met like that don't know how to cook or don't cook, and like it's not like they don't like it, they just don't know how. I was like, how the hell do you not know how? That girl, like I was saying, that went on that one date. She's like, I don't really cook it, especially protein or meat or anything, because I don't want to undercook it or overcook it. I was like, how do you live? Like, do you just constantly go out all the time? Do you buy pre-made stuff all the time? Like, it's just weird.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
dude,
no.
I don't even think they have home economics anymore. Like they did inside when we were in school and stuff. Like, do you remember that? Like, we had to take
rice
economics.
take a minute. The rice normally
Like,
takes 35 minutes. You know that, right? Like, or 17.
Yeah. I was like, it's just weird to me that this generation of people that don't cook and don't know how or don't want to. I was like, wow. And I'm not saying you gotta be a dang chef. You don't gotta love it. Like, shoot, I love it. I've been, shoot, like Don, like I've been cooking since I was a kid. I've been cooking since I was 9. I went to school for I did this and that. Like, you don't have to have that passion, but learn how to freaking boil an egg. Learn how to make a freaking at least one meal.
They don't need to, brother. They got things like Home Fresh that they deliver 5 meals to you a week. You don't even have to grocery shop, and they give you how to make it. You don't need to learn how to cook anymore.
Shoot, well, even with the Home Fresh, you still technically cooking that. You're just not shopping for it. But dude, there's people that don't even do that. There's when there's Uber Eats and you can deliver a pre-made food all day. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really have extra much to put on it. Like Brian literally said it is almost to the degree that I would say it. Like about carbon copies and all that good stuff. I'm glad I don't have to go through the dating scene and all that, because me today, my patience is so thin. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's not even on some like Kevin Samuels shit, but on like, if I went out on a date, I honestly would feel like after 10 minutes, if I wasn't vibing, I'd be like, we got to go. Like, I value my time more now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I value my time more. I value like my kids' time more. So if I dropped my kids off to go do this, you know what I'm saying, and it ends up being whack, I'm gonna be like, I just wasted an hour, 2 hours, you know what I'm saying, that I could have been getting with them or I could have been doing something else. So I don't know, my mentality is so much different than from a decade ago. So that's why I have to go through it. Because from what I see, today's women kind of whack. Everyone's BBL in this, BBL in that, all of them saying the same like sayings, period, and this and that. I'm like, miss me with that shit, honestly. Like, you're not Lotto. They all think they're Lotto. They all think they're Nicki. They all think they're Cardi. I'm like, you're not even close. You understand me? So, I don't know.
I didn't all that either. Like, I wouldn't want to date.
Well, and then there's that. And see, that's why I knew I couldn't, because they wouldn't want to have the conversation with me. Because if they were like, oh, well, you know, Cardi's on that boss stuff. I'm like,
look at Rihanna and ASAP.
No, it's like this. When they say, oh, Cardi's on that boss, like, yeah, and she still got cheated on. Oh, Nicki's that girl, Beyonce's that girl. Yeah, and they still got cheated on. What are we doing? Right? So like, if that's why I know I couldn't do the dating scene today, because I would be kind of an asshole. That's why thank God I don't have.
I feel you.
But I think where what you will kind of agree with is, even when you were dating and selecting out for who you want to be with long term, you kind of had a friend first. You had somebody that kind of you would want to hang out with and be buddy with, that wasn't just about like, you have your thing from your feminine perspective, I have my thing from a male perspective, and hopefully we can come together and something happens where we're not clashing.
Well, that's because we were dating in a generation where there wasn't social media, or where there wasn't.
Exactly.
We I guess fortunately were able to date before the social media boom.
That's the whole thing.
Before Tinder, before all these dating apps or whatever have you. We had Black Planet and MySpace. You feel me? Like, but aside from that, like, we had to go on actual factual dates. We had to actually sit with someone and learn. You couldn't learn everybody off of their TikTok or their Instagram. Like, you had to actually learn that person from talking to them. We actually had, 4-hour conversations on the phone. It wasn't, we were talking, you feel me? So I think we were the last generation of that. So yeah, like you're right. We had to actually like have a homie, like, Mildred and I, we actually kicked it for years. We went to, actual restaurants and concerts.
But that's what I say is part of the answer. Part of the answer is, if a female wants to be like, well, how do I stand out, or how do I differentiate myself from all the rest of the crowd? Like, why don't these guys want me? And I would say maybe take into some of the likings that they like. I don't say you have to like live and breathe sports. I'm not saying you need to hang out in barbershops, but I'm saying do some things together that it doesn't seem like, well, this is out of my realm. I don't do gaming. I don't even, it's like, just, you're going to do that kitty stuff? Like, no.
But already to me, it wouldn't be as authentic as it once was, because if you say that, hey, maybe reach out or try to do some of his likes, what's the first thing she's going to do? Go to my Instagram and see what he likes. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to ask me. She's not going to ask me in pure conversation, like, yo, tell me what your interests are. She's going to go at my profile and be like, oh, well, he posts a lot of food pics, so he must like food. Oh, he's got a lot of sneaker pics, he must like sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so already in that, it's going to be different than when we were dating, because just finding the initial information is different, bro. It's crazy. They won't talk to you. They won't call you and be like, yo, I just want to get to know you. It's texting. Hey, give me your top 3 things. She gonna give me a freaking Herald list. Give me your top 10 list of spots to go eat at. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. That's why today it has to be crazy. I feel for Quincy every single time he says he's starting a new date. Every other month, hey, I'm going on my first date. I'll be like, brother, aren't you sick and
Right?
tired of? Don't you
It
want to go on your
sucks, dude.
last first date? Like, aren't you sick of it?
Trust me. That's the end goal. But like Harold was saying, like it's the aspect of do they want to though? It's like how do they empower themselves? It's like at the same time, it's like they gotta want to. They gotta want to change. They gotta want to be better. And with this, how things are going right now, when they think they are the table compared to what they want to bring to the table, there's and the ego behind it. It's like no, especially like I said, when you have everyone telling you that you're the best, you're the greatest, you don't have to change, you don't have to lose weight, you don't have to be better. Why? There's another guy to the left, whatever. When you have everybody telling you that, then you believe it and you don't change. You don't want to because you don't feel like you have to. So that's part of the problem, getting out of their own head.
I
well,
think
that's when. Well,
And
that's
it was
when
because I
that.
was like when I brought up like when Don brought up Beyonce and stuff, and I remember I heard something on one of the little Facebook things. This guy was saying like how Beyonce is like one of the biggest con artists out there because she tells women like I'm a survivor. I can have anyone go to the left. I can do this, that, and the other. If you get cheated on, do that. But what happened to her when she got cheated on? She's still stuck with the dude. She's still with Jay-Z because of his who he is, but she's telling all these women to go out, do their thing. You can have a next dude. You can call any guy in the next second and have this other dude here. So go ahead and go ahead and do that. But I'm not doing it. I'm not stupid. I know what I got is good, even though he effed up once or however many times.
but the other thing too, I wonder if part of it could be, and again, this happened in the case of Brian once upon a time, is if a woman actually pursued the dude and actually said like, hey, do you want to go out? Or hey, I'm actually interested in you. Do you think that that helps and makes a difference? If it's not always the guy chasing, but the female says like, hey, like, I don't know if you're busy, I don't know if you're single still, but like, I actually want to date you. Like, if you're free, like, let's go out, and like actually
That's
having that
so.
confidence.
That's so rare. That would be super dope. It's happened to me twice, and those two times
Right.
it was fire. I mean, even Mildred, when we were younger, she had. I think she's the one that initially put it out there, like, hey, I know we're just kind of friends, like messing around, but like romantically, let's take this somewhere else. Like, you know what I mean? It was more so her pursuing in that, and at the beginning at least. But for today, yeah, that's rare as hell. So if that were to happen,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure, you know. But again, that's so far and few in between. At least I
Yeah,
think.
it
I don't know.
is.
I'm not out there like that. So
Especially
y'all, Quincy gotta let me know if that's even a thing.
it's a rarity. That's why I like that one site. I'm on Bumble because the female has to initiate. So that's the only thing that's cool about that site is the female has to initiate the conversation before you can even talk to her. She has to message you. So that's kind of cool. But like I said, it's a rarity where you get a female that approaches you and like this and that. Like I said, I had it a few times back in the day, but yeah, recently, not as much. Like I said, besides that site where they had to initiate the conversation, but it's crazy.
What are your
They
thoughts,
like I
Brian?
said, especially when like I said, you like how Harold was saying you like women that men are out there more and think that well women has to do this and that, but it's not really like that when especially when every female that looks decently has like 1,000 dudes try DMing her and stuff and message her and this and that, and she get her head blown up like, oh, I have so many DMs right now. I have like 50 that I didn't even open yet. Like so many, like, dude, you're
And
Thirsty.
that's a good
realistically you're
point going
below
back
average
to,
female, but you have all these dudes. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say that's a good point what you're saying, going back to what Don mentioned earlier in regards to like again, social media and stuff. That's one of the other issues we didn't even touch on. The fact that because of social media, you have a connection with so many more people, and of those so many more people, there's so many more simps. So you have dudes that are putting the pussy on a pedestal or like praising these girls, are like again, in reality, in your like home state, your home state, or whatever, you're probably classified as like a 4 or 5. But you put yourself with the filters on Instagram or whatever, and you got so many millions of likes and so many dudes talking about I drink your bathwater and da 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 da. You know, that blows up your head. Now all of a sudden you think you. So when a dude actually does find it interesting you or want to approach you, like that's where again you got like 200-pound women saying like you need to have a job, you need to have this, like all these criteria, because it's inflated by all these simps, by all these filters and stuff, making them look better than they are, by all these celebrities saying like, hey, do you, boo, you don't need this and then all, like, so all those things combined, just make these girls or make these women think.
I want to touch on that because you actually brought it up. And I wanted to touch on this, but you brought up that word simp. And I think I was talking to her about this. Like, I hate that freaking phrase simp because what the definition of simp is like, you taking care of a girl, saying she's pretty, bringing her flowers, or taking her on dates and she has no interest in you. Or you taking your friend zone, but you're still doing all this stuff for this girl, right? That's what most people would consider a simp. Let's call it what it really is. A freaking female that is taking advantage of a good dude, a sorry ass female that is taking advantage of a good dude's feelings and emotions.
Like, but we can't put that on her though, because the dude's allowing it to happen. You're like, I mean,
but it's still she's going to allow it to happen. If she has no interest in you, she shouldn't accept that flower. She shouldn't accept dinner. She shouldn't accept anything from you. She just like, hey, if she's like, dude, I had females like, hey, wanted to give me stuff. I'm like, nah, don't give me no, but whatever. That's just me. But if a female allows you to do this, take her out to dinner, and she doesn't like you, doesn't find you, and laughs at you and say, hey, this dude just bought me this, and take us out to another dude, that's a sorry female, period.
If I go to Thailand and I happen to find some Pokemon cards and I buy these Pokemon cards and I come back and I meet up with my buddy Don and I'm like, hey, let's sell these Pokemon cards, and someone offers me like 30,000 for a card that I got for $5, am I not supposed to take that money? I mean,
that's nothing to do with dating. That's business.
I know it's different, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, if someone's going to, in the dating scene, if someone's going to do all these great things for you and you're not even interested, and if you let them know you're not interested and they still continue to do it, that's on them. These dudes, like, again, like, it's not when the women are,
but like I said, my point is,
what?
No, go ahead. My bad. No, my point is that we have a phrase that's demasculating men by calling them simps. That's my whole thing. Is we have something that's saying, you're a simp. We're demasculating man in this generation, this freaking women empowerment generation. All they're doing is taking the power from men by calling them simps, by calling them this. But like I said, as soon as we say anything negative towards a female or anything like that, put a bad name on them, it's the end of the world. That's my point. Like, the responsibility is on both. Men shouldn't do it, but women shouldn't accept it. Is my thing.
And again, as a guy trying to stand up for the guys, I'm thinking like, if you're a guy that's allowing that to happen, I don't agree. You shouldn't allow that happen. You're being a simp. Like, that's the negative thing that guys are recognizing to point out other guys you have a problem. Meanwhile, on the flip side, women are probably calling us fuckboys. Like, oh, he's a fuckboy. Like that, I take more offense in like hearing that phrase. Women talking about dudes, whatever sense or what their definition of it may be, etc. Oh, he's just boy. Like, nah, like I know.
But both of those phrases are negative towards men, though. You said two phrases.
So that's
you call him a fuckboy and you call him a simp.
A man calling another man a simp, I don't have a problem with that, because especially if you're having those qualities where you're allowing yourself to get played, I need to point that out. Just like if
that's
again,
two phrases
whole,
like, that's negative for men,
right? If someone's like, paying hella dollars for Pokemon and like, they're fake or something like that, like, where you calling that person? You're calling them a sucker. You got suckered. Like, they played you. In like the relationship.
But that's the way it works. Like, buy for cheap, sell for more. That's how the world is. Buy cheap, sell more. That's any industry. That's
you just said it. You call
that's
it.
your cable. That's your phone.
That's also the relationship industry.
So then, do you think that they killed that? So before, there was the idea of pretty girl syndrome, right? Where the pretty girl was so ridiculous, even if it was in your hometown, that most guys wouldn't even approach it because you're like, oh, well, she's probably already got a whole lot of people in her DMs, or oh, she's already got so many people approaching her that who am I? You know, I'm nobody. And so she has to pick a litter, like I'm intimidated to ask. And then it happens where the pretty girl actually gets no dates because she's so far above the rest of the pack, the flock, everybody's intimidated, scared, doesn't feel like they have the qualifications to meet her. So do you think that now in the era of social media is gone? Or do you think there's still like a little bit of that still exists?
I think it got worse, if anything. I think it's more that now. It's kind of like that joke. I don't know if y'all heard it. That, oh, my bad. Like the joke about the husband store. I'm sure y'all heard that joke before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that joke. It's like they keep wanting more and more, but they are never happy because they never end up getting anything at the end of the day. Because like you said, they have to pick up the litter, but they like, oh no, he's good, but I want something a little better. Like, oh, he's good, but he's only 6 foot. I want a 6'2". Like, oh, he makes me smile. He makes it like, okay, well, damn, now I got nobody. Shit, okay. But yeah,
like
so
going up each level, like, oh, level 1, he's 6 foot. Level 2, he's 6 foot, he has a good job. Level 3, 6 foot, good job, good dick. Like, and so it's like, oh yeah, that's good. And then it's like, oh, like, well, let me just, I can go to the next level. There's something better. And then bam, it's like, yeah, like there's nobody at this level.
Crap out.
Exactly.
Perfect, right? Now,
like it's an exit sign. It's like it's a door with 3 cats. Shoot, that's what it is, dude. It's a pookie at the end of the door.
I will say this though, as a quick slide alternative, like, so yeah, it's like dating and trying to find like a partner in this society, in this generation. Like Don said, you know, like I'm sorry for you, Quincy, because it seems hella rough.
Trust me.
But
sorry every day.
If I wasn't about that, in the sense of like I wasn't trying to find a female, like a companion, like for life, and I was just out here just trying to like get my dick wet, love it. I would love it. Like, and that's why I say, you know, like if I wasn't in a relationship right now, and also having that mindset now, that hindsight, knowing what I didn't know back then, like I swear I'd probably have like an STD after like maybe like 2 months. I'd be fucking like just all out, yo, like stupid. I'd be a whore. Just,
trust
you know
me.
what I mean?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. These little first, like no shout out to Quincy, but these little first like, oh, let's go walk at the park, and no. If God forbid something should happen, no, I'm in the streets. I'm in the trust me. I'm in the
dude, like I said, I've been single for like 2 years, 2.5, a little over 2 years now. So I did it for a little bit. You're like, shit, you know, I ain't proud to admit it, but I did what I did. Like I had more females in that first year or that first 2 years, and than I had in like the last 10 or whatever in that short time span, because that's what it was.
So then why aren't you proud of what you did?
Yeah, why? It is what it is. It's a part of me. It happened, but it's not like, hey, that's not my goal. It's not like, hey, that's all I want to do. It's nothing to be like. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm not proud of it.
Well, no,
I ain't mad about it.
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure, because you made it sound like I'm not proud of what I did, like almost like you regret it. That's what I'm like.
No, I don't regret it. I'm not like saying, hey, like I wouldn't do it again. Like, sure, I did what I did. It was fun. I had a good time, but it's nothing like, hey, I'm gonna like sit there and boast about. But
yeah,
it is what it is, kind of thing.
Got you.
I know Don has to get out of here pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I got another 10 minutes. It's all good. What do you think of the Currency tape? The little short.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, I like a lot of tracks on there. I would say like I like half of it. The problem is
half of it. That's 15 minutes.
Yeah, liking half of it is 4 tracks out of 7, which it's like he needed to. For me to take it seriously, especially like an album of the year conversations, especially as like putting it as one of his best, it's got to be like 10, 12, 14 tracks. But to only have 7, for it to only be like 35 minutes, every song is 2.5 minutes.
Is this that JD thing like you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
JD? Okay.
but like it has some nice, like, especially that track he has on there with 2 Chainz, Off the Lot. That one, it just gets you in a groove.
The one
The
with
intro,
T.I.
Social Jets, is nice. The Never Change, I think, is nice.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that like are like in the rotation, but yeah, not everyone is great. But for it to only be 7 songs, that's unacceptable.
This has been very weak for music so far this year. Very, very weak. I gotta be honest. I'm like, and I think that's, like you said earlier, why I keep going back to older music, because I'm like, I try to stay up to date and current with everything, but this year so far has been super mediocre compared to last year. Like last year, by the time April hit, we had joints.
So have you not listened to that the Black Thought and L. Michaels affair?
I actually haven't yet. I will be honest, I haven't. I'll do that today. I'll do that because I'm a Black Thought fan, so I will do that. But yeah, no, aside from that, I mean, I've been dabbling in the Don Toliver joint. I like Don Toliver's album a lot more than I anticipated to. So much so that actually I bought tickets to his concert. He's coming out here in July. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go see Don Toliver. I was trying
Can he sing without the auto-tune?
Well, we're gonna find out. We're about to find out. But you guys know I'm a SZA stan. Me and Mildred were SZA stans, so we were trying to get tickets to her concert, but they're astronomically priced, so there's no way I'll do that.
Yeah.
If I had the bread, it's the cheapest ticket at the time because she gets pre-sale was like $550 a lick, and I'm like, bruh, there's not one artist today that I'd spend $550 a lick.
That's also an automatic resale. Like that ain't the actual retail. That's just things get sold out and flipped real quick.
Well, even then, like with Ticketmaster and stuff, like they be jacking up prices. It's that same thing they're talking about with I don't know, like Taylor Swift or
Taylor Swift, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, the regular price, like you go to Ticketmaster, not like any like, you know, scalper, not like, you know, resell, none of that stuff, and it's still like astronomical or whatever, because, you know, it's like, all right, yeah, the hype, everybody, and this is all post-COVID, you know, like prices were somewhat respectable prior, but yeah, everything's just more expensive because they know there's a demand and everybody's going to get into it. And the sad thing is, like half the motherfuckers, if not more than half of them, yeah, they're only getting the tickets so they can resell it for a profit.
Yeah, no, so I haven't been to a show since we went to see The Weeknd last year. So I'm like, I want to get back into seeing like concerts and whether they be on high tier or low tier. So I'm starting to try to. That's what I'm like.
I don't trust people. There's so much drama and just. It's hard for it to just be a great night out where you're just chilling with your, you know, with your wifey or whatever. It's just.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm never gonna try to succumb to that mindset because anything can happen at any given moment, any day, whether you're in the comfort of your home, whether you're out in the midst of it all. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, as the older we get, I'm just trying to create more experiences. So like, I don't want to sit here in fear or sit in the fear of like something might go wrong here because. Bro, it's gonna go wrong on the way to work on a Tuesday morning. You feel me? If there's an event or something I want to enjoy, that mindset, I'm getting out of it. You feel me? That's just me personally.
Well, the only reason I say that too is
what's up?
We recently went to go see John Wick 4 in theaters, whatever, and it got a little uncomfortable just because it was at like a halfway packed theater, and there was like white couple right at the rail, whatever, in the middle of the aisle, whatever. And then you had a black couple right behind them. And whatever they were doing, they were kind of talking, whatever. Maybe their foot hit the seat a couple times. And then you immediately hear okay, that's enough. Okay, enough, you know, and just immediately ratcheting it up. And then they're like, I'm not going to be here and be disrespected. I'm just sitting here enjoying the movie like you. Turn around, sir. And then people ratchet it up, and then they're like, "What? Do we have a problem?" And it's just like, "Uh-oh!" And so then somebody walks out, and they like get a manager, and then somebody else walks out, and you're like, "Okay, what they coming back with?" And you just never know, and it's just uncomfortable. So it's just stuff like that don't need to be in an already quote unquote aggressive adrenaline pumping movie.
Yeah,
it's just like, all right, we don't even need this. This is unnecessary.
No, I agree, and it sucks. It does suck because that's how it is, but. I could never just not almost live life because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you could be at the grocery store, which we've seen, and then somebody comes in and starts popping people, or you could be at the gas station. It's just, you never know.
Well, and it used to be a little more like, oh, that's out of the blue moon. But now changing the laws, more
Yeah.
concealed carry, more you don't gotta
Yeah.
have a license to do this and that. You can just operate however you would like. And people are just like, okay, well, if everybody else got it, I gotta get it.
Yeah, no, that part is true. You definitely have to definitely have your eyes open a little more. And I will say, you know, you can't move as comfortable as we used to move. That part is true. That I do agree with. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you just say a prayer every time you step out your door and be like, hey, I want to go have fun. Pray that I get back home safe. You know what I mean? I guess that's what it is. But yeah, I'm trying to get out there a little more. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to.
So for me, like I'm kind of, I'd say maybe I'm like that little division piece between you and Harold, or Don and Harold, in the sense that like, and Don's sense where like, yeah, you gotta live your life and stuff like that. But then I understand Harold's sense where it's like, yeah, you know, like things are, you kind of gotta take a step away, or like, you know, not be out as much as you were before and everything, because things are crazy. And like, and those two are thinking about, it's like, yeah, like, well, I want to go out and do things, but I also know what the potential of what could be negative that's going to happen. So what things do I want to do, and what ways can I avoid putting myself in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I going to go to a concert because I like to go to concerts? Yeah, I might go to a Don Toliver concert or a SZA concert or something like that. Am I going to go to a Lil Uzi Vert concert or a Travis Scott concert? Probably not, after you know what, you know, so you just gotta figure out what situations are worth like going to, and like, you know, have potential for something to go wrong versus like just going to any and everything. But at the same time, when I think about it, it's like, yo, the older I get, the more and more and more like Dave Chappelle in Africa makes sense. And I legit, like, I just don't like people a whole lot anymore. So like, I want to just get some bread so I can go ahead and move to Africa, and I'm gonna have to figure out some way to convince my wife and my kids and stuff like that with me. Yeah, like
see now,
America, you know what I mean? Like it's
you're right about that, because I even to this day, like I don't hit club like that anymore, because like you said, I know what to expect. I know that's not my crowd anymore. I don't do Old Town Scotts. Friends of mine are still like, yo, let's go. No, I'm good. I've done it. I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to be black out there. That's number one. Getting in a club is still going to be impossible no matter what I have on. They're going to be looking at me sideways. God forbid you run into a white dude that's had too many drinks and starts getting, you know, mouthy a little bit. And it's like, now you got to clock him, but then you lose because, you know what I'm saying? I already know.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm not putting myself in those scenarios anymore. I will go to a fire restaurant. I'll go to, you know, a movie. I'll go to, like you said, a certain show. We'll go shop a little bit. We'll go take the kids somewhere that's in a nice family area, and then I'm back at the crib. So yeah, I'm more so like what Brian's saying. Like you live your life, but you know how to maneuver. Because if you're smart enough, you know, pick your spots, and that's kind of where I'm at these days.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's facts.
I feel you. I'm the same. I agree that. But we're passing over the big question, though. Shoot. How was the movie? How was that John Wick 4?
Oh, it had. You're not gonna tell me it was whack. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it was fire.
Same here. I haven't seen it either.
I might say it's the best one yet.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, it has to.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
I was not disappointed. I was like, that might have been the best one. Like, surprisingly
hard. Now let me ask you, without you giving me anything, because I am gonna go see it. Does it open a 5? Is a 5 possible?
It's hard to see them having a 5th.
Okay. That's all I need to know. Okay. Because obviously the first 3, like you can see, like, okay, I see what they're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, this could be a 2, this could be a 3, this could be a 4. So this one, you're saying that like if it's a 5th, they're gonna be reaching, or what?
Yeah, if it's a 5th, they're gonna be reaching. They definitely had like a 2.5-hour story, and they were like, this is going to be a story. You now know the beginning, the end. You now know why this exists, and they brought in a whole lot of players. So
fire.
It was well done. So like,
fire. Got me hyped, like I want to go see it now, or like
now.
I know I'm going to see it, but like I want to see it now, like in the next couple hours. Damn, I got to watch my basketball, so
that's worth checking out.
But I'll see it in theaters at some point.
Real quick before I dip, I know we touched on it for a second in the chat, but what do you guys think of Chris Rock's special? And if you guys talked about it, like, I don't know if you guys went live last month, but what y'all think about it?
I thought we briefly
I'll
touched on
just
it.
talk real quick with it. We didn't talk about the special or whatever. We didn't have a meeting or anything, but I saw it. It was good. Obviously the last little part he's gonna do the Will Smith thing. That's cool. It's standard Chris Rock, and it's been a while since he's had a whole bunch of things of that nature. So I didn't. I don't want to say I was disappointed by it, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to rewatch it again and so on and so forth. There wasn't like an Eddie Murphy Raw or anything of that nature. It's decent.
So I'll come clean. We've had the talk before, like who's in your top 3, top 4. He's in my top 5, like my top 3, aside from Chappelle and Eddie. I was severely disappointed, man. I'm gonna be honest. Majority of it to me was like super lackluster. The Will Smith rant, while cool, I laughed a little bit, but Chris, man, I don't know. It's funny because this just makes me like Chappelle even more, because as Chappelle keeps growing, he still makes you laugh, makes you think. Like Chappelle is still a genius. Yeah. Like Chris has lost it. I don't know. He doesn't have that naturally funny, or I don't know. It's just weird.
I wouldn't say that.
It's not even an age thing. It's just like, because Chappelle is older too, but I just don't know what happened where Chris Rock lost that funny. You know what I'm saying? He lost that edge.
I think what happens a lot of times is he's done what he's always done. I didn't actually rate it as low as you have. Like, I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought for what Chris does, he does that well. And he brought in some analogies and some callbacks and things of that nature, like he always does. He just doesn't push the bar. He hasn't evolved to the level of like introspective conversation about what's happening, how it relates to the world. He hasn't made that his thing as good as like Chappelle or some of the others have. And so that's almost what I fear with, if Eddie comes back, I don't think he's going to be as, artistic and as gritty and everything else that we want him to be, we expect him to be in this day and age. I
guess I just never took Chris to be like push it to the limit and beyond comedian anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
and this was a little safe, and it's going to be a little just disappointing.
And that's fine, but he's I guess I don't know. I don't think the style of comedy that I like has changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Chappelle since day one has always like said things to make you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Early on. That's his bag. Chris Rock, like you said, is like, that's never been him. It's been like, let me be goofy. Let me, the analogies are crazy, which he's always good at. And I will say there was some good ones here. You know what I'm saying? I really liked his Meghan Markle take. That was hilarious to me. Some of the Kardashian take was funny and all that, but I don't know. It just.
Well, so part of it, I think.
How many times did you watch it?
Well, I watched it when it was live, and then I rewatched it because I rewatched it. I wanted to see if they were going to edit some stuff, because in the live, when he completely messed up his joke.
Yeah, he did.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to see if they edited, which they did.
You did not.
Bro, it wasn't it for me, man. I'm gonna be honest. It was cool.
See, I think in some of the subject matter he talked about, he stepped on the toes of like a D-Ray Davis, a Corey Holcomb, Deion Cole, where he's getting into the relationship bag and talking about women parts and the things they do and talking about abortions and all that stuff. And he's not a good a storyteller. He doesn't get into the like putting you in the mindset of someone that is, back in the dating scene as good as they do. So I think,
or he'll touch on it, but he just doesn't go in depth about it, or like, again, like kind of toes the line. He doesn't want to be too offensive in certain areas.
Yeah. No,
so I thought it was solid. It was like, I'm in the middle of like Don and Harold and stuff. I was like, it was a little lackluster. I thought it could have been funnier, but it was solid. I wasn't disappointed. I just thought it could have been funnier. I thought he could have went even harder on the whole Will Smith situation. I think he got off light. He went off light, and especially for all the backlash he's getting. Like, dude, you hear what Holcomb said, you hear what Marlon Wayne said, you hear what there's so many people say a lot more worse stuff than that. Like,
it's a year later.
I was like, dude, he was like, I was like, you're real nice. You hard. But I think it was cool. I think it was just the time from special to special. Like, he hasn't dropped a special in years. Where Chappelle was like, every other year or whatever. So when you're in that groove, when you're constantly doing it, you're gonna have that with you. But when you haven't, it's that ring rust. Like you haven't fought in like 5 years, you're gonna have that little ring rust. And I thought that's what it is. Even though he was doing little stuff to prepare for the live, I think he just wasn't ready. I think if he does another special, it'll be better, just because he got that out of his system. But like I said, I wasn't disappointed, but I thought it.
I think also the timing of it, that was the issue. Like it took a year for him to like have some jokes or this Will Smith, and after that year, these are the jokes you have. Like Quincy said, it's easy, it's light work. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, he could have went way deeper and even longer the whole situation. So yeah.
It was whatever, but hopefully he comes correct next time. But yeah, sorry that I got to dip a little early, cats. But yeah, gotta start making this bread, brother.
Yeah, man. Good luck to your thing, man. All right, everybody, take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too, man. You too. Hey, Clippers, I'm rooting for Clippers, man.
Wow, appreciate it. Hopefully, they get that dub. We'll see.